So there are three occasions, three that I know of, where Cryme Tyme was supposed to win the World Tag Team titles. Three occasions. One time in 2007, another time in 2008, and another time in 2009. If there were more occasions where we were supposed to win, that's beyond my knowledge, but I'm going to tell you from what I heard. The first time Cryme Tyme was supposed to win the World Tag Team titles was in 2007 at a pay-per-view. I can't remember the pay-per-view. I know you guys, the fans, will know the pay-per-view, so please leave it in the comments. But it was after a South Africa tour in September. I was told when we came back from our 6-month release, because we were released for putting our hands on the ref. If you want the details, you got to get the book. I'll probably leave the link in the description. But we were supposed to work Lance Cade and Trevor Murdoch the whole South African tour. And when we came back, we were supposed to win the titles at the pay-per-view. That was one occasion. The second time Cryme Tyme was supposed to win the World Tag Team titles, that from what I've heard, actually not from what I've heard, I heard it straight from the horse's mouth, was in October 2008. We had a match the week prior on Raw, and we had some disagreements with the current champions. And because of those disagreements over a spot, one of the champions came up to me the same day and said, we were supposed to drop the titles to you, but he pulled me to the side. He said, creative decided to change it because of the disagreement that we had over a spot. And the following week, the champions dropped the titles to Kofi and CM Punk. You put two and two together. The third time Cryme Tyme was supposed to win the World Tag Team titles was in 2009 at SummerSlam. It was Cryme Tyme versus Jericho. That's actually one of my favorite matches of all of my entire career. Even though we didn't win the titles, that's still one of my favorite matches because it was in my new hometown, Los Angeles, at the Staples Center. And it was against Big Show and Chris Jericho, who I have so much respect for. The pinnacle of professionalism and who you should aspire to be if you want to be a professional wrestler. Chris Jericho is the man in the locker room, respected in and out. But I digress. We didn't win the titles, and I was told later on from Creative that they decided to keep the titles on Jericho because they wanted them to work a feud with DX. A few months later, Jericho dropped the titles to DX in a TLC match, which was a very good match. But just coming from me, I think a feud with Cryme Tyme and DX, that's where the money would have been. Ooh, the backstage segments, the chemistry on the mic going back and forth. Yeah, I would have gave Shawn Michaels a run for his money. He didn't want that smoke, but you got what you got. There are a few more occasions where Cryme Tyme was supposed to win the tag team titles. Those three stood out the most. But to be honest with you, we didn't need them. I'm looking back at my career, and when we started in 2006, we were one of the fastest up and rising tag teams, the most popular during our era. Go back and look at the archives. Cryme Tyme during 2006 to 2009 was one of the most popular tag teams in WWE history. And we didn't need the titles for that. Looking back, there's been champions, tag team champions. There have been superstars that have been put together to be tag team champions, and you guys would never remember them, but you remember Cryme Tyme. I have no regrets or quarrels about my career. Looking back, I had an amazing tag team career, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. Cryme Tyme will be remembered as the uncrowned champions, and to me, as long as we're remembered, that's all that's important to me. So all the fans that keep asking me why we were never tag team champions, there you go. I give you three instances where we were supposed to win, but because of disagreements, politics, better storylines, things happen the way they happen. And hey, it is what it is. But Cryme Tyme will be remembered for one of the most popular tag teams in WWE history. Cheer.
That's how, hey yo, no more Hollywood. This is Hollywood, and it's Cryme Tyme. Be scared, you probably should.
And that was why Cryme Tyme never won the tag team titles. If you have any matches where you thought Cryme Tyme was this close to winning the titles and I didn't talk about it, leave it in the comments. I'll be sure to get back with you. Like, subscribe if you haven't already, and stay tuned for more episodes with the God. Wait for it. Wait for it. Cheer!